In today's video, we're going to take an in-depth look at the evolving landscape of the 2024 electoral map, exploring how the latest forecasts are shaping the competition between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. As we delve into this analysis, it's essential to recognize the stakes involved. With a total of 270 electoral votes needed to secure the presidency, every state will play a critical role in determining the outcome of this election. So let's get right into the current projections and what they reveal about each candidate's path to victory. To kick things off, we need to examine Virginia, a state that has long been a Democratic stronghold. In the last election, Joe Biden emerged victorious with a significant 10-point lead. However, recent trends indicate that the 2024 race is shaping up to be much closer. The current forecast suggests that while Kamala Harris is likely to win Virginia, her margin of victory could be reduced to around 5 points. This shift highlights a growing competitiveness in a state that has traditionally favored Democrats, especially given the Republican Party's successful gubernatorial bid in 2021. The tightening of the race in Virginia signals a crucial point for the Democratic campaign. Complacency is not an option. Harris will need to work hard to energize voters and build on Biden's previous support. A victory, even if it is a win, by a smaller margin could raise alarms for her campaign, indicating that Democrats may be losing their grip on this once reliable blue state. This situation illustrates the importance of engagement and outreach, as the Harris campaign must connect with various demographics to ensure strong turnout and support. Next, let's turn our attention to Colorado and New Mexico, two states where Biden achieved impressive victories in 2020. Biden won Colorado by an impressive 14 points, while New Mexico was secured by an 11-point margin. However, forecasts for 2024 suggest that Kamala Harris may not fare as well in these states. Predictions indicate that both races could see margins of victory drop below 7 points, reflecting a tighter contest than previously anticipated. But before we get into the details, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. All this change points to an important trend within these states. Although they are still likely to lean Democratic, the reduced margins underscore potential vulnerabilities for Harris's campaign. She will need to invest significant effort into these states to maintain the Democratic advantage. It's imperative for her team to galvanize support, ensuring that they connect effectively with the electorate, especially given that even traditionally blue states can experience shifts in voter sentiment. So moving on to Minnesota, we find a state that is essential for Kamala Harris. Historically, Minnesota has been a reliable Democratic bastion, voting blue for over half a century. Yet in recent elections, the state has shown signs of increased competitiveness. In 2016, Trump came very close to flipping Minnesota, losing by just 1.5. While Biden managed to secure a more comfortable 7-point victory in 2020, the fact that Minnesota is still competitive raises red flags for the Democrats. For Harris, securing Minnesota is non-negotiable. The selection of Tim Walz, the sitting governor, as her running mate could provide a significant boost to her campaign, as his popularity among Minnesota voters may translate into increased support for Harris. However, it's important to note that without Walz on the ticket, Harris's chances could be significantly diminished. While current forecasts favor her winning the state, it's likely that her margin will not surpass Biden's performance from 4 years ago. If Harris cannot exceed Biden's success in Minnesota, it could jeopardize her overall campaign strategy, particularly since Biden had the advantage of running with the state's governor. After analyzing Virginia, Colorado, New Mexico, and Minnesota, we find that Kamala Harris, with a total of 226 electoral votes, while this provides a solid foundation, it is evident that she faces considerable challenges ahead to reach the pivotal 270 votes required for victory. She must now intensify her efforts in critical battleground states that will ultimately determine the election outcome. Let's shift gears and focus on Donald Trump's electoral prospects. We'll begin filling in the states that lean in his favor, starting with Maine's 2nd congressional district. This district is notable because Maine allocates its electoral votes by congressional districts rather than giving all to the statewide winner. Trump has secured this district in both the 2016 and 2020 elections, and he is expected to do so again in 2024. While it only represents a single electoral vote, every point is vital in such a closely contested election. Next, we have the states of Alaska and South Carolina. These states have long been considered Republican strongholds in presidential elections. Although Alaska's political landscape has faced scrutiny regarding its competitiveness, it remains solidly aligned with Trump. Similarly, South Carolina has consistently supported Republican candidates. Current projections indicate that Trump will win both states, adding 12 electoral votes to his total, which further strengthens his position in the race. As we look toward the Midwest, two key states come into play. Ohio and Iowa, both states voted for Barack Obama in 2012, but shifted to Trump in 2016 and maintained their support for him in 2020. Trump won both states by significant margins, and current forecasts suggest he is likely to win them again in 2024. As a result, Ohio and Iowa are categorized as likely red states, contributing another 18 electoral votes to Trump's overall count. Now let's return to the Sun Belt, where the significance of Texas and Florida cannot be overstated. These two states collectively hold 70 electoral votes, making them crucial for any Republican strategy. In 2020, Trump won both states, taking Texas by a 6-point margin and Florida by 3 points. However, the political dynamics in these states have shifted since 2016. In Texas, although Trump's lead has narrowed slightly, he remains the frontrunner. In Florida, forecasts suggest he could achieve a significant victory, potentially winning by a margin not seen for any candidate in decades, possibly reaching as high as 7 points. This momentum in Florida bodes well for Trump as he seeks to reinforce his previous successes. With Texas and Florida leaning in Trump's favor, he is well positioned to close in on the crucial 270 electoral votes needed to claim the presidency. Currently, Trump is projected to hold 219 electoral votes, just 7 behind Harris. This sets the stage for a highly competitive showdown, as the remaining battleground states will ultimately determine who emerges victorious in this election. Now, let's shift our focus to the battleground states that will be critical in the upcoming election. These states fall into the categories of tilt and lean, indicating that the competition will be fierce. We begin with Arizona and Georgia, both of which are leaning towards Trump. In Arizona, which Biden narrowly won in 2020 by just 0.31, recent forecasts show Trump as the clear favorite with a 63% chance of reclaiming the state. This shift from a previous toss-up status to lean red reflects Trump's resurgence in a state that has been trending Democratic. Georgia, too, is becoming increasingly competitive. Biden's narrow victory here in 2020 was historic, as it marked the first time since 1992 that a Democrat carried the state. Presently, Trump holds a lead with a 63% chance of winning Georgia, indicating a strong Republican presence as the election draws closer. See, trends in both Arizona and Georgia illustrate how Trump's campaign has made significant gains in reclaiming support in states that were once firmly blue, which could have profound implications for the overall election outcome. Finally, we arrive at the 5 tilt states: Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. These states are critical in determining the election winner and are projected to be highly competitive. In Nevada, no Democrat has lost since 2004, but Kamala Harris is currently projected to have a slight edge with a 52% chance of winning. Nevertheless, the state remains extremely close, with forecasts indicating it as a potential toss-up. North Carolina is a vital state for Trump's campaign strategy, as he's won this state in both the 2016 and 2020 elections. Current projections show he has a strong chance of winning North Carolina again, and the state is categorized as tilt red. The only reason why Trump is not performing better in North Carolina is due to scandals surrounding Mark Robinson, the Republican candidate for governor, which could potentially impact Trump's support. Now let's delve into Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan, 3 states that played pivotal roles in both Trump's victories in 2016 and Biden's success in 2020. Pennsylvania stands out as one of the most critical states, boasting 19 electoral votes. Presently, Trump is leading in Pennsylvania, which would significantly boost his overall electoral total and potentially propel him past the 270 vote threshold. Meanwhile, both Wisconsin and Michigan are similarly crucial battlegrounds where Trump remains a formidable contender. While some forecasts give Harris slight advantages in these states, it's important to recognize that the polling often underestimates support for Trump, particularly in crucial swing areas. In summary, the current electoral projections paint a picture of a highly competitive landscape, with Donald Trump appearing poised for victory with an estimated 281 electoral votes against Kamala Harris's 257. This forecast indicates a notable shift back in Trump's favor compared to the last election, illustrating his regained ground among a central voter demographic. Nevertheless, with several weeks left until Election Day, the race remains fluid, and both candidates must focus intently on critical battleground states. As we approach the election, it's crucial to keep an eye on the states that will likely determine the outcome. Virginia, Colorado, New Mexico, Minnesota, Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Each of these states holds significant weight in the electoral map, and the dynamics can shift rapidly as we move closer to November. Thank you for tuning into this comprehensive analysis of the electoral map as we gear up for the 2024 election. Found this breakdown informative. I encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe. Staying informed about the political landscape is vital, especially in such a rapidly evolving environment. I'll be here to provide you with the latest insights and analysis as the election approaches. So be sure to stick around for more updates on this critical race and what it means for the future of our nation.